I've opened up a new file in SketchUp, and like always they include a figure. This happens to be Ty. He is a component, and if we go to the top view here, you'll see that Ty is actually flat. Another characteristic about Ty is that as you orbit around, he always faces the camera. So what I want to do is go ahead and make my own. Now you might be tempted to just go ahead and take and just insert or drag and drop an image, but this is a JPEG, and as you can see it has this background, and that's not what we want. So I'm going to undo that action right there. I'm going to go to remove.bg, and I'm going to take and remove the background and convert this into what's called a PNG file. So I started with a JPEG. There the background's been removed, and you can see right here that this background has this checkerboard which denotes transparency, or that there are no pixels there. So I'm going to go ahead and download that, and then I'm going to go back into SketchUp. Now that I'm back into SketchUp, I'm going to go ahead and import Wallace and Grommet. But you need to be very careful when you import it, because if you just plop it anywhere, you're going to have trouble later on when it comes time to setting it so that it always faces the camera, such as this guy here, Ty. So to be careful, I'm just going to go to the top view, pan down here so that I'm looking directly at the red and the green axis. And now I'm going to go ahead and import it. I'll browse for it. There it is there. And I want to import it as an image. And now Wallace and Grommet are stuck to my cursor. So I'm just going to go ahead and put them right there on the origin. And then as I move my mouse, it scales it up and down. I don't need to be super precise because I can always rescale them later on if they're too tall or too short. So I'll just click right there. I'm going to go back to my 3D view here. And I'll go to this one instead so that Ty's not in the way. And what I want to do next is rotate this so that it's standing up. So I'm going to type in Q for rotate, but notice that if I rotate it, I'll just go ahead and do it. Click here. See, it rotates it that way, doesn't it? So how do I get the protractor so that it moves up? Well, again, I'm going to put it right here on the origin, and I'm holding down my left mouse button. I'm not letting go of it yet. And see, as I move around, so does the protractor. So I just need to mouse along here on the red axis, and then I go ahead and click a point, and I bring it up 90 degrees. So there's Wallace and Grommet now, but they're not a component. Right now they're just an image. So let's change that. So let's break it down into its simplest elements by exploding it, and then I'm going to right click and make it a component. I'll name the component WG for Wallace and Grommet, and here's the important part. This is where the magic happens. Click this box that says always face camera. Click OK, and now as I rotate around, Wallace and Grommet follow me in my model, looking at me just like Ty. As rotated around, see how it gets in front and in back of Ty. Now there's one more thing that we need to do, and you'll notice that there's still a box around Wallace and Grommet. So let's go ahead and right click and edit the component, or you can double click on it, and then carefully select each line. I'm going to hold down my shift key just to save a touch of time here. Got one more. Oh, I got the actual image. There we go. Now I've got all 4 lines. Right click and hide them. I click outside to close the component for editing. And now Wallace and Grommet face us, and there is no bounding box or square around our image. So that's how you can create your own two-dimensional component. Remember that the file that you import needs to be a PNG file, otherwise you're going to get that rectangular white background, that it's always part of a JPEG image, and also be really careful to insert or import your image so that it's lined up with the red, green, and blue axes. I hope you enjoyed this.